Here it is, AMOLED. Yep, everybody's talking about it. Greetings and welcome to smartwatchtics.com. So what exactly is AMOLED? Well, AM stands for active matrix, O is organic, and light-emitting diodes. LEDs are individual lights for each pixel on a screen of your phone or your computer, wow, or your watch, like this one. Optical or organic is a type of matrix-style stuff that it's made of, and active matrix means there's strips of transistors that make up the screen as opposed to just an individual dot like an OLED. An AMOLED is strips of Google it, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, here we are, we have the watch, we have the box, and you have a place to buy it from BANGGOOD. This is a really sweet one. It's called the HK8 Pro. We're looking at 1.36 inch, a nice high resolution 390 by 390 pixel AMOLED screen, which means, guys, you can have always on display with low power usage. Yes, it shows NFC, but no, outside of China, you're not going to be able to use it, as in all of these watches that have the NFC in it. You've got Bluetooth calling with this one, heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, 30 days standby time, an IP68 waterproof rating, and the full specs look like this. Bluetooth 5.0, FitCloudPro for tethering, that's this one here. These are the different watch languages, and these are the app languages, so you can see if yours is there. Bluetooth calling, which includes call reminder, call ID display is on this one. Your call records, you can reject call, all kinds of things. In terms of your health, you got heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, standard sleep time. You got menstrual cycle reminder for the ladies, sedentary reminder, and drink water. These are all standard stuff. Exercise, multi-sport modes as usual. No GPS in the watch, but you got all the basic stuff covered as well. You got music controls and camera controls. You got weather display on it, calendar, alarm, multiple dials, custom watch faces. It does just about everything we've seen as we've reviewed many of these watches before. You have an artificial intelligence voice assistant in here. Because it's got Bluetooth calling, you have a mic and speaker, so that should work for you. Alipay, again, offline payment only in China. And here's our size, resolution, waterproofing, battery information, 30-day standby, about a week of continuous usage, and the way it's made. And in addition to the band that it comes with, and you can get it with a variety of bands, it also can ship with an extra set of bands, a leather style of band, and a rubberized type. This is a gold one that they sent out. Take the cover off, of course. And so marrying up with a pinkish type of a band, nice design for the ladies. You see you got two holes here for the speakers for your Bluetooth calling, and mic is on the other side. I got two buttons. One looks like it's kind of it feels kind of clicky too, like it actually might work in turning. And this one's just a plain flat button right there. Screen is inside, diodes are on the back, and the magnetic charger is your standard 2-pin USB that attaches, but not real strong, not strong enough to hold the watch. So be careful, it doesn't do that when you charge it, or it's not going to charge. I've had that happen before. Unless they're really strong, they can lean over on the side, you don't even realize it. Best way to charge this kind of a watch is to put it face down. I know, always on the screen at night you might want to see it, but you play with it, see what works for you. But if you put it face down and have this aligned so it's not a little bit off, you can make a good connection and make sure you have it charged in the morning. Now, in terms of the manual, got my little cover on it. Wow, lots of pictures in this one. We got the Chinese version and English. Let's look through it real quick. Again, we're the FitCloudPro app. Here's some basic functions, buttons, sliding around on it for those of you brand new. So, some of the screens that you'll be seeing when we actually run through the features on the watch. Bluetooth calls, your call records, and your frequent contacts can be maintained. You can manually dial from the watch, of course. Music, temperature, alarm, stopwatch, timer, basic watch functions in a nice designed configuration and at a pretty decent price, coming in under $50. So that's the manual, and we're going to charge it up now and show you what it'll do. Here you go. Isn't that sweet? Now look at that. That's the always-on analog display. We got here by setting it up for that, and I've pressed and held the button on the side. It took it a moment. It vibrated, said hello, and went right into its opening watch face, which I've got this set for an analog and digital face here, that when it runs out of its seconds, it flips back into the analog always-on display. Wanted to show you that right up front. Let's move through this thing now and see some of the functions. When we swipe down, we have these controls. Do not disturb your overall brightness, and I'm right in the middle. This is full bright right there, and you can soften it down to something like that, which is pretty broad range. So we're going to leave it about in the middle. You have overall settings here that lets you change your menu style. We'll get into that. Modify the display. Here's where we can change watch faces. Let's pick a different one. This is one I downloaded from the server here recently. So let's go back in, and in display. You have brightness. We saw that already. You can mess around with the screen time up to 20 seconds. Once you're actively using it, it'll stay on for 20 seconds without touch and then go off, or you can set it as low as 5 seconds. So I'm keeping it at 20 for our review. Raise to wake. When you twist it, you can have it stay on as little as 2 seconds just to glance, see the time, and it goes off, or goes back into always on display, which is what I do. Typically leave it at that 2 seconds just for a quick turn, or 6 seconds, which we'll use for the review. Always on display. Now you've seen the analog. I'm going to switch it to digital, and we'll show you that. I don't particularly like this one. But there it is. You've got this digital look if you want to have the always-on display in digital. Now, we were here looking at display. We went through all of that. Battery shows you your level, and you can go into a power savings mode to minimize all your transmission and whatnot. You have vibration intensity off, soft, and strong. I'm okay with soft. It's plenty strong enough. Your languages are selectable on this watch, and here's the choices available. We actually have a really broad international viewership on this channel, and there's some strange languages that I get requested if the watch supports it. So it's nice to have this opportunity to show you what's really on the watch, and you can determine for yourself if it'll work for you. The QR code we mentioned is what you use if you need to scan for getting the Tethering app, FitCloudPro, but I would recommend instead you actually go to the Google Play Store. You can turn on a password switch and set a password for the watch. Not sure why you do it here, but because of NFC, if you were doing payments in China, you absolutely have to have it password protected. And then your system info is right here. This is the brand model number of the watch. Shutdown and basic reset completely resets it to factory default. And that is just about everything there. Finally, we come over, you see your step count with the circles meeting your goal, heart rate here, and it immediately starts into measuring. You see it's attempting to get a measurement from me. Beyond this, you have the audio mode. Now, when I turn this on, it flips it in so that it's connected for making phone calls or receiving and playing music or activating your Google Assistant kind of thing. And so now you have that tied together. But you can save power by turning it off if you're not going to use it for Bluetooth calling. Here's last night's overall sleep time broken down into deep and light according to them, and your different activities, including swimming. It's an IP68, they claim, rated watch, and swimming is an activity. So they presume, I guess, that you're going to get it in water. There's no GPS in the watch, so basic fitness activity is done using pedometer movements and such. The music player, Okay, I got something queued up playing on tuned-in radio on my phone. Here's what it sounds like on the watch. Pretty clear. You can mute it simply by putting your finger over the speakers, which is why I like it on the side like this. If you're on a call and you really need to shut the person up really quickly, you can do that simply by doing that. Okay, of course it returns back to the watch face if you let it go out. And you can pause it here, change the volume, everything. And finally, weather. And again, you can set that up for a particular city that you'd like, and in Fahrenheit or centigrade. And then a plus. And the plus, I've got them everything loaded. So these are more than what comes stock turned on. So you want to go to that end and add them in the order you want them to appear. Now, we go over there. You got all of these little pull-out tab of the most recent activities that you've done, and the current temperature, and of course you can go into phone calling directly here. You can check your call records if you have any, the contact person that you add here from the app, or bring up the telephone pad and key in a telephone number and make a call directly. We're not going to do all that in an unboxing video, but it works, and the volume is equally loud to what you heard in the music, so everything's fine with that. Oh, you're right. I forgot the buttons. You press the bottom button. That gets you into your activities. You pick which one you want. You press it again. It gives you a countdown, and you start your activity. Which we don't want to do right now. We're going to end, and too little to save. Okay, we're going to back out of here. You see that takes us all the way back. That took us to where we were. From here, you tap it, and of course, you're going to get into all of your apps, telephone, contact person. There's the voice assistant. We didn't even play with that. That activates your Google or Siri, and you'll hear the response come back through the watch. The data, workouts, workout records, if you have any. I got 57 steps on this one, and there's the summary of that information. Nice, okay. And you can throw it away or do whatever you want. Heart rate, sleep, blood pressure, and blood oxygen are all in here. Now, we didn't have cards for blood pressure and blood oxygen, but you go here, and it'll do the diode reading, and it'll give you your systolic and diastolic. Blood oxygen, you go here, it starts reading, and it's also using the green diode, not the red diode, which is usually more reliable. So double check your readings on any of these things. And then, of course, messages, weather, female cycle information, ladies. If you've registered as a female and you set everything up for your menstrual cycle, you can monitor your information here and see more detail, of course, in the app itself. Music, stopwatch, timers, alarm clock, everything, and settings we already looked at. Now let's get back up here to that menu style, because this is really fun, gang. I'm in style 4, and it's been linear text, just like you see here. Let's jump back up to style 1, back out of here, back over to here, and look, you've got that Apple look and feel of a bubble arrangement, and you can zoom a little bit in and out on everything there if you like. So that's becoming a standard implementation on a lot of these watches. But wait, there's more. Style 2 looks like this. We have a circle that goes around, and it's vibrating every time I turn it, and it tells you the name of the icon in case you don't recognize them. Now, if you want one like System, Settings, there you go. I can just tap on it and go right to it. Sweet. Style 3, that's different still. You've got this double loop thing here. Now pay attention to the settings icon. You've memorized that, right? Where's the settings on this? It's not there. That's interesting, huh? Now, I haven't really analyzed it to see which ones have which icons and which ones don't, but this particular one, the only way I've figured out how to get to where we are and change it is to come back into settings that way. Settings style 4. We're here. This is our linear one that we've been looking at all day. And of course, you could go back up and do all of those things before. I can come down and switch us to style 5. This is the last one. Are you ready? Style 5, drum roll. Wow, interesting. It's a 3x3 row that kind of balloons out like it's on the surface of a sphere or something. And there's more than meets the eye. I think it's the same icons in a circle 3 different times, because there's settings over here. Watch it. There's settings over there. And there we are with settings over here. So I run it in style 4. I'm a linear text kind of guy. It makes it easier for me to get to where I want. But if you're a fast function person and know your icons, there's a lot of different styles you can use. Now, does it spin? Does it work? This one doesn't do anything when you twirl it, but that big one, yeah, that I said clicks, sure enough, it changes the watch face. And it makes it so easy to pick whichever watch face you want to use for the day, from the stock ones that are in here, or from the one that you load automatically from the app. Nice, huh? That's a cool one. There's a lot going on in that one. Bright ones, dim ones, digital ones, analog ones. This comes with a slew of faces installed. And now we're back to the one I downloaded. Let's switch to the app. FitCloudPro tethers with this one. We got everything all set up. Jump in here to the opening page, synchronizes immediately, shows you your step count for the day and each hour, how many steps you walk, your distance, today, weekly, monthly, and you can send all that information out if you'd like to. Women's health. Here you go, ladies. Here's a whole calendar. You started out on when you began, and you can have it monitor all kinds of stuff and show you all kinds of data. And of course, there's your settings to calibrate it. You have last night's sleep time, and here's all the different time windows of when you were in the stages of deep sleep or light sleep or awake with a total. And of course, you got weekly, monthly summaries as well. Heart rate. The last heart rate is right here. All of the different readings on the different dates, the averages, high, low, average, and you can start it remotely from the app to trigger it with the watch to take a reading if you want. Blood pressure, same kind of thing. You can start it remotely. Here's your summary data and the last measurement. And then blood oxygen, likewise start it to take it remotely. And again, exactly like the others as well. So those are all of your body measurements. If I hit health measurement, it will do all of this all at once and give you a reading for heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, all of it. And that's really sweet, just a one quick button push. Switch over here to device. It tells you which one you're on. Once it's got the battery level, it shows you that. You can set up push notifications for calls, SMS, or any of these other services. And they're very extensive. You can enable all reminders right there. You have activity reminders for getting up and moving, for drinking water, your overall dial library. These are the different watch faces that you can add if you'd like. And it's a very extensive collection. Lots and lots and lots of them. Analog, digital, you name it. Of course, we've seen all this before because we've reviewed this app before. So take a look at those if you want to go into the full detail. Local dial are the ones that you've downloaded already, so you don't have to do that again. Once you've brought one in from the server, it's real easy to switch it back to the watch. Weather reports, you can set up. Raise to wake is enabled. You can have it notify you of elevated heart rate and do automatic health monitoring for whatever period you want, 24 hours if you'd like. It's going to eat in on your battery, but not too badly. You wear it on your left or right hand, 12 or 24 hours, shake to take a photograph and so forth. You can unbind it there. Lastly, you log in and register here. If you want to archive your data, you can also send it over to Google Fit, set your goals, your overall units in terms of metric, imperial, and Fahrenheit or centigrade. The women's health section give you the information, and you can choose what you want to be reminded about depending on where you are in your life and what you're trying to do. Then you have overall settings as well, version update, run in the background, log in, and all that. And that is the FitCloudPro app that goes along with this one. So This is the pink band that it came with. And let's try out the other band. Here you go. This is a nice brown leather band and a different watch face as well, which of course you can switch to anything you'd like. Really sweet watch. I'm very impressed with this one. Also, when you do have the charger on it and you have it set for the always on display, analog or digital, it will stay in that display while it's charging. That's not true of all of these watches that do support always on. Many times it goes off, it switches to a power level, or it just goes black. But if that's what you want on at night, you set it on the charger, charge it up in the background, this is what you'll see. And of course, with Do Not Disturb turned on, it's not going to go out of that mode no matter what you do, so it makes for a really nice night light. That's the band set that you saw here that came with this one. You have a lot of choices when you pick this thing up from BANGGOOD. You've got different designs, you've got metal bands, you've got gold, you've got silver, you've got a gunmetal black kind of a display. So head on over using the link in the show notes. It's in flash sale, and again, look for a discount if you're watching this after flash sale has ended. We'll try to get you a good price down around the $50 level for a waterproof watch with always on display and all the other capabilities that this is offering. That's a really decent deal, so it might be something you'd like to check out. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again soon.